Hello everyone. Welcome to the next episode of Masters of the Journey. Today we have with us a very esteemed guest, 25-year-old Shanya Rai, who rejected IIM Kozhikode, who prepared for CAT 2023 exam along with her job, who secured a call and converted a call from IIM K and then rejected it. तो उनका ये कंप्लीट जर्नी, हाउ डिड शी प्रिपेयर फॉर द कैट एग्जाम? अगर आप कैट 25 कैट 26 के लिए प्रिपेयर कर रहे हो एंड इफ यू आर अ वर्किंग प्रोफेशनल, हाउ डिड शी प्रिपेयर अलॉन्ग विद जॉब? बहुत ही इंसाइटफुल जर्नी रहा था उनका, तो ये वीडियो भी आपके लिए बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट रहेगा. देन हाउ डिड शी प्रिपेयर फॉर द वैट पीआई राउंड्स? आफ्टर टेकिंग सो मच एफर्ट, he rejected the old IIM. Why did she reject it? क्या पैरामीटर्स उन्होंने कंसिडर किए एंड करंटली व्हाट इज शी डूइंग? ये सब जर्नी के बारे में हम लोग आज बात करने वाले हैं. तो वेलकम शन्या. I'll
Thanks,
just
Aditya. That's
I'll just give
Mhm.
a brief introduction. She scored 98 plus
Mhm.
percentile in her CAT 2023, and he was he is currently also working with a company as a data scientist. While she prepared for CAT exam, he was a data analyst. Now she got promoted recently. So during based on her CAT results, she got calls from multiple old IIMs, new IIMs, and baby IIMs obviously, and she converted IIM K. So, Shanya, this video will be, or this discussion will be divided into three parts for our audience. तो हमारा फर्स्ट पार्ट रहेगा कि आपने किस तरीके से प्रिपरेशन किया along with your job. I understand कि आपका जॉब बहुत ही ज़्यादा डिमांडिंग था. I remember taking her interviews. Let me first of all clear it out कि she joined तर्कशास्त्र for her interview round. तो उन्होंने कैट का प्रिपरेशन अपने खुद के बेसिस पे किया हुआ है, सेल्फ स्टडी किया हुआ है. तो आई रिमेंबर कंडक्टिंग हर इंटरव्यूज लेट नाइट. अगर आप डे टाइम में करते थे तो शी यूज टू अपीयर फॉर इंटरव्यूज फॉर मॉक पीआईज फ्रॉम हर ऑफिस, है ना. तो शी हैज बीन वर्किंग इन अ कंपनी इन अ वेरी डिमांडिंग जॉब. तो आपने किस तरीके से प्रिपरेशन किया, ये रहेगा फर्स्ट पार्ट. सेकेंड पार्ट रहेगा कि आफ्टर क्लियरिंग द कैट 2023 एग्जाम एंड सिक्योरिंग कॉल्स फ्रॉम मल्टीपल आईएम्स एंड नॉन आईएम्स एज वेल, आपने किस तरीके से वैट जीडी एंड पीआई के लिए प्रिपेयर किया, क्योंकि उसमें करंट अफेयर्स, उसमें आपका अकेड एंड आपका वर्क एक्सपीरियंस से रिलेटेड आपको बहुत कुछ पूछा जाता है, तो वो सब भी आपको प्रिपेयर करना पड़ा. दैट इज द सेकंड फेज ऑफ प्रिपरेशन. एंड देन थर्ड एंड लास्ट फेज विल बी, लास्ट part of this discussion will revolve around your decision, your thought process of rejecting IIMK and now you are pursuing a course from IIM Indore. तो उसके बारे में हम लोग रिवॉल्व करेंगे, ठीक है. So would you like to
Sure,
shed
sure.
some light on your preparation journey for CAT exam?
Sure. Thanks, Aditya, for a wonderful introduction. Uh, yeah, I started preparing for CAT in June of 2023. I had been procrastinating about it since January, and I had been planning and had made a lot of schedules, a lot of routines. But honestly, none of that worked for me. I would start, then I would fail to maintain that routine, and then I would just give up on it because I am that kind of person. But in June 2023, I finally had this realization that I cannot make a routine and stick to it, which will be true for most working professionals, because
Correct,
making a routine and sticking to it is very hard for people who already have to adhere to some other routine that is already
correct,
in their life, which is their job, right? And that all doesn't always fall in a routine. There are some people who work outside of their work hours as well because of their job being so demanding. So I realized that I had a set goal of, giving 2 hours every day on weekdays and then giving at least 5 to 6 hours on weekends or more if I can. But I realized that I cannot do that. I cannot do 2 hours every day because some days I have more work than others. So instead of following a time-based routine, I followed a topic-based or content-based routine. For example, every week I would set that this week I have to cover this topic of quants or this topic of work or this topic of LRDI.
hmm,
That was how I saw it. I did not see it from a time perspective. I saw it from a content or a subject perspective.
hmm,
And after that, every week, I would, no matter if I am able to give 1 hour every day or 3 hours every day or 2 hours on weekend or 8 hours on weekend, that wasn't my goal. My goal was I have to finish this. This is the list of topic. I have to finish it this week. or by the end of next week. And I think that worked better for me because I could achieve those things. It was also important that I set very achievable goals. I did not tell myself that I have this mountain of a subject to do in 1 week. Because the thing about people like me, or most students who prepare for CAT, is that um, you set very ambitious goals when you are very motivated, and then after that motivation dies down a little bit, you are not able to catch up with that goal, or fulfill it, and
Correct.
then you get demotivated that, oh, I cannot do it, it is not for me. So instead of that, just set smaller targets, like get some quick wins, and those will keep you motivated throughout the week or throughout your month, whatever is your timeline. So that was
Correct.
how I prepared for it.
तो बहुत सारे एस्पिरेंट्स का यही होता है जो आपने बहुत अच्छे तरीके से हाईलाइट किया कि
Mhm.
बहुत ज्यादा ओवर एक्सपेक्टेशंस के अंदर आप बर्डन के अंदर आप
Mhm.
दब जाते हो एंड देन
Mhm.
योर ओवर एक्सपेक्टेशंस विल डीमोटिवेट यू.
Yep. Yes, 100% true.
करेक्ट.
So I have faced that, and that's why I realized that also do not see your friends, do not see other candidates. What works for them might not work for you. I
करेक्ट.
have friends who are highly disciplined, so much disciplined that I will take probably 3 lifetimes to get there. So they can wake up early, they can do everything on time, eat on time, sleep on time, and it's great for them because it works for them. But it doesn't
हम्म.
work for me. I do not have that kind of discipline in my life, which is not a good thing. But I can manage to make things flexible for me and then prepare accordingly so that my work and my studies fit my schedule. That is important. Understand what is your uh, how you
Strength.
can deal with things.
Correct. So it is better to have a SWOT analysis of your own, right?
It is very important to have that have that understanding about your own self. Yes.
करेक्ट. करेक्ट. ठीक है. तो ये तो आपने आपके रूटीन के बारे में बताया. डिड यू
Mhm.
हैव एनी सेक्शन स्पेसिफिक स्ट्रेटेजी कि आपको कुछ ऐसा था कि हाँ यार मेरा वीआरसी थोड़ा स्ट्रांग है या फिर कोई डीआईएलआर थोड़ा वीक है या फिर कौन थोड़ा ज्यादा स्ट्रांग है, तो उसके लिए आपने कुछ सेपरेट एफर्ट्स लिए डिफरेंट सेक्शंस के लिए?
Section wise, of course, everyone has their strengths and their weaknesses. Um, what I did not do, जो एक चीज I would like to tell everyone कि एक चीज आप जरूर करें before opening any book, before starting any section, do a mock.
हम्म.
Give a mock the first day that you start your preparation for CAT. Give a mock, and then you are like कि आप ये बोलेंगे अगर कि पर हमें तो पता ही नहीं है, क्वेश्चंस नहीं पता है, फॉर्मूला नहीं पता है. That is the purpose. That is
हम्म.
the whole purpose of giving the mock. It will help you assess yourself कि आप किस सेक्शन में कितना कंफर्टेबल थे, कितना नर्वस थे, कौन से क्वेश्चन सॉल्व करने में मजा आ रहा था और कौन से क्वेश्चन में मन भी नहीं कर रहा था सॉल्व करने का.
करेक्ट.
Right? Those things will one second. Those things will once you have that understanding about your own strengths and weaknesses, then what I do is that I focus on my strengths first thing,
हम्म.
very important. I focus on my strengths because those are the things that will stay with me no matter what. Even on a bad day I can do strong topics very confidently, right?
करेक्ट.
And then about weaknesses, um, I have a very different approach for weaknesses. For example, there's a topic in uh, quant, which is sequence and series. No
हम्म.
matter what happens, I will never touch a question from sequence and series. Is it difficult? I don't know, but I won't touch it. I won't touch that question in exam. Even if I know the exact answer to it, I won't touch it. That's my idea about sequence and series. But there are other weaknesses like geometry. I'm not very good at geometry, but I know I remember the formula. I can solve questions if I have done practice.
हम्म.
So those two, both of them are weaknesses. Geometry is a weakness and sequence and series is a weakness. But I deal both of them differently. There are some weaknesses you can work on, you can put
हम्म.
some extra efforts on because you know you will get there eventually. But there are other weaknesses which are like at 10% from 100. So there's no point wasting your time on them, especially if you're a working professional, so you cannot dedicate as much time. So do not go to areas where you do not, ki there's no chance of getting there. And it is not called negative thinking, it's just called being aware of your own strengths and weaknesses.
करेक्ट.
So
करेक्ट.
that's very important. So
करेक्ट. सो दिस पर्सपेक्टिव जो आप बता रहे हो कि लुकिंग एट थिंग्स फ्रॉम अ डिफरेंट पर्सपेक्टिव इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट.
yes,
इंस्टेड ऑफ सेइंग कि यार हाँ ये मेरा वीकनेस है इसको मैं हाथ ही नहीं लगाऊंगी, आपने उसमें से भी फाइंड आउट किया कि हाँ यार ये वीकनेस मेरा पूरा ज्योमेट्री वीकनेस नहीं हो सकता ना, ज्योमेट्री में से एक पर्टिकुलर टॉपिक है जो मेरा वीक है,
yes,
बाकी का तो
yes,
आई कैन डेफिनेटली सॉल्व.
yes. So there are certain weaknesses like आपके strengths. I see strengths है जिसमें भी आप 100 में से 80 के ऊपर हो, those are your strengths,
करेक्ट.
right? That 50 के ऊपर हो तो 50 के भी नीचे जाओ और 50 के ऊपर जाओ, वो दो टाइप के वीकनेसेस है. 50 से 80 के बीच में वो है जिनमें आई कैन वर्क. आई नो कि इफ
करेक्ट.
आई हैव टू पुट एफर्ट्स इन रिमेम्बरिंग द फॉर्मूले, आई हैव टू पुट एफर्ट्स इन प्रैक्टिसिंग क्वेश्चंस, I have to put efforts in practicing questions, so I know I can get there,
करेक्ट.
right? I can take it to an 80. But there are topics that are 10, 20, 30. I don't touch them unless I have so much time to kill, which I don't think anyone has. I
करेक्ट.
don't do that.
तो तो हम लोग ज्यादा डिटेल में आपका प्रिपरेशन स्ट्रेटेजी नहीं करेंगे, क्योंकि
Hmm.
हर एक का अपना अपना अलग अलग स्ट्रेटेजी होता
अपना
है. एंड
अपना.
आई वुड रिक्वेस्ट द होल ऑडियंस वाचिंग दिस पर्टिकुलर वीडियो to devise their own strategy based on their SWOT analysis, right? So, how important is taking the mocks at the initial stage? ये तो आपने बता
Hmm.
दिया. How important
Yes.
is taking the mocks at frequent intervals? इसके ऊपर आप थोड़ा लाइट शेयर करोगे?
This is another one of the lessons that I learned, that I did not do mocks very frequently. Not until I was at the very end. I think November 26th was the CAT date that year,
Correct. Correct.
and I started giving mocks in October mid.
Hmm.
My whole point about not giving mocks, my whole reasoning behind that was, I haven't finished my syllabus yet. What's the point of giving mocks? I haven't
Hmm.
done this topic yet. What's the point of giving mocks? I will just waste my 3 hours in giving mock or 2 hours in giving mock. But that is the important part. No matter how much you prepare, if you cannot sit in a controlled environment and solve
Hmm.
questions about that topic, it won't do any good. So, but I had a very systematic methods of giving mocks, which I think was the best thing I did for myself. So in October mid, I started giving mocks, and I would initially give them every week or every 3 days
Hmm.
in the initial phase. So for the first 3, 4 times, that's what I did. After giving each mock, after solving 2 hours of that, I would then, there are certain websites or courses or programs that give you a whole series of mocks, and then they'll also give you solutions after the mock.
Hmm.
They'll give you your weaknesses and strengths ka analysis. So after every mock, I would solve the entire paper again, only the things that I couldn't solve in the exam.
Hmm.
I would solve it I had a separate notebook only for mocks. There's nothing else. There's no syllabus there. I would just solve all the questions for quant and all the questions of LRDI. I did not do for VARC because VARC I felt much more confident in. But if you are someone who is not as much confident in VARC, then you should do that as well. I only did for LRDI and quant. I would solve the entire from the entire mock, the questions I couldn't do in exam or in mock, I would do all of them, and I would revise those questions. I would always point out what was it that I forgot in exam, what
Hmm.
formula I forgot, or what shortcut I forgot, or what exception I forgot. I would always highlight that in a bracket in the same notebook, and I would look over it every week or something like that. And then in the later phase of, I think from 10th of November or Diwali, it was Diwali around that time. Then I started giving mocks every couple days. And then I stopped studying. I was just giving mocks at that point, and I was solving mocks. That's all I was doing. So it is very important to do mocks. Yes.
इट इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. सो यहाँ पे ये क्वेश्चन का आंसर आप अगर एनालाइज करोगे तो इसका हाईलाइट ये है कि इट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टू टेक फ्रिक्वेंट मॉक्स, बट it is equally, or I'll say it is more important to analyze it.
Yes. Absolutely. If you don't learn from your mocks,
हाँ.
my I think 50% of my learning happened from June to October mid, and the rest 50% happened from October mid to November end. I'm 100% sure about that. The way I learned from mocks, I understood the formula I was forgetting, the concepts I could not, I knew those concepts, but I couldn't apply those concepts.
Hmm.
So those are the things I learned from mocks, and every person I meet now, I tell them, first thing you do is you give mock. You can forget the syllabus, just give mock. It's very
Correct.
important. Yes.
Correct. Okay. So last question from the first part. जैसे आपने बताया कि each and every person has their own schedule, has their own way of approaching the preparation.
Yes.
But आप जो भी कर रहे हो अपने तरीके से कर रहे हो, चाहे आप सिर्फ वीकेंड में प्रिपरेशन करो, चाहे आप डेली बेसिस पे 2 आवर्स करो, चाहे आप कॉन्सेप्ट बेस्ड करो, कंटेंट बेस्ड करो,
हम्म,
हाउ इम्पोर्टेंट इज कंसिस्टेंसी एंड हाउ डिड यू कीप योर सेल्फ मोटिवेटेड? क्योंकि आपका शेड्यूल बहुत ही ज्यादा हेक्टिक था। जो 2 महीने का
यस।
इंटरेक्शन हुआ था अपना पीआई के प्रिपरेशन के लिए, उसमें भी
हम्म,
आपको 10 मिनट का 15 मिनट का पीआई निकाल देने के लिए टाइम निकालना पड़ता था। हम लोग रिक्वेस्ट करते
या।
थे कि भाई आ जाओ, एक पीआई कर लेते हैं आपका।
राइट।
तो हाउ डिड यू
यस।
मोटिवेट? ये तो 2 महीने का बात था। ये दस
हाँ।
दस 15 15 मिनट के स्लॉट के लिए आपका अपॉइंटमेंट लेना पड़ता था, बट हाउ डिड यू कीप योर सेल्फ मोटिवेटेड एंड कंसिस्टेंसी? हाउ डिड यू मेंटेन इट फॉर द कैट प्रिपरेशन होल 8 to 9 months ऑफ ड्यूरेशन?
Oh, that's a tough question. Motivation, it's different for many people, it's different for others, but for me, motivation comes from quick wins. So
हम्म,
if I had set a plan and if I was able to follow in that plan, that would motivate me that, oh yes, I was able to follow through. Or
हम्म,
if I was able to, or if I gave a mock and I did well in that mock, I would
हम्म,
feel motivated to do the next one.
हम्म,
That is how I see motivation. And motivation is actually it's not a linear thing. It's roller
correct,
coaster. Every day, some day it's very high,
correct.
some day it's very low. So I would suggest do not rely on your motivation to do something. Motivation comes after doing something. For me, once I start doing something, then I feel motivated about doing it. But I cannot feel motivation and then start something. That is, it works the opposite for me. So motivation, I would say just do not rely on motivation. If you can just um, if you can just stick to having a plan, a
हम्म,
long term plan with short term wins, that would help. You cannot have a plan for every day that every day I am sitting from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. That
correct,
won't happen. But
correct,
if you can plan your weeks about contents or what you want to do depending on your thing, that will happen. Consistency, I would say, consistency is super important, very important, because I have seen people who worked very hard for 3 months and then
हम्म,
just gave up in the fourth month, and the
correct.
whole 3 months preparation went to the drain.
Yeah, this happens a lot with majority of the
Yes,
students.
yes. So they do very hard in the first 3 months, very motivated. I have friends who did that, and I would look at them, I would be very intimidated because I'm like, they are doing so much. I can't even do half of that. But in the fourth month, they were like, I'm so done with this. I cannot carry on this, you know. And so then I learned something about burnout. So
Hmm,
if you are exhausting yourself, if you're just putting so much, in the very beginning, because you're very motivated that time, you're going to burn out very soon, and then you're going to lose
correct.
motivation, you're going to lose energy, exhaustion will come, just not good. Which is why it's very important to do little every day.
Hmm,
Give 2 hours, give 1 hour every day if you can. If you are short on time, then of course this won't work. But if you have time, if you have 6 months, 4 months, 8 months, then do plan on doing little every day. And by the time, if you do it for 2 months, from the third month, you'll automatically feel giving more to it, because you will
correct,
have that confidence. You will have that, like, oh yes, I was able to do this much, and now I have to do the rest of it. So
correct,
consistency is super important in things like these.
correct, correct. तो फर्स्ट पार्ट तो आपने बहुत अच्छे तरीके से इनपुट दिए शान्या। आई होप
Thank
कि
you.
स्टूडेंट्स विल डेफिनेटली टेक अ लॉट एंड लॉट ऑफ लर्निंग्स फ्रॉम दिस। आपने तो उनका पूरा कैट 25 का प्रिपरेशन का जर्नी ही इजी कर दिया है।
I hope so. I hope they can take help from this.
तो नाउ कमिंग बैक टू द सेकंड पार्ट ऑफ दिस डिस्कशन, कि जब आपका कैट का रिजल्ट आ चुका था, यू आर स्टिल
Mhm.
वर्किंग, यू आर स्टिल वर्किंग विद द सेम कंपनी। तो
Yes, yes.
नाउ प्रिपरेशन ऑफ द फर्स्ट पार्ट बिफोर कैट एंड
Hmm.
पोस्ट कैट आर कंप्लीटली डिफरेंट।
Very
क्योंकि
different. Yes.
प्री कैट आपको 3 ही सब्जेक्ट्स प्रिपेयर करने हैं, वीआरसी,
Hmm.
डीआईएलआर
Hmm.
एंड क्यूए।
Hmm.
लेकिन पोस्ट कैट आपका पूरा कच्चा चिट्टा खुल जाता है उनके सामने, कि
Yes.
आपका एकेडमिक्स आता है, सिंस यू
Yes.
आर एन इंजीनियर फ्रॉम ट्रिपल आईटी पुणे, तो आपका
Hmm.
वो भी आता है कि भाई आपके एकेडमिक्स के बारे में भी आपको प्रिपेयर करना है, चाहे 2 3 ही फेवरेट सब्जेक्ट्स क्यों ना हो, वो पूरा पढ़ना है।
Hmm.
देन फॉर अ वर्किंग प्रोफेशनल, वन मोर एवेन्यू ऑफ क्वेश्चन ओपन,
Yes.
correct? And
Yes.
for a working professional from tech field, now that a lot of things are going on in the background in AI, machine learning, generative AI and etc. आप जिसमें काम कर रहे हो, डेटा एनालिसिस एंड एवरीथिंग, तो बहुत ही ज्यादा क्वेश्चंस आपको उसके बारे में भी पूछे जाने वाले थे।
Right.
एंड रही बात करंट अफेयर्स की, बिजनेस रिलेटेड, तो हाउ
हम्म।
डिड यू मैनेज दिस मच? इतना सारा कंटेंट आपने कंज्यूम कैसे किया, कहाँ से किया? एंड कुछ रिसोर्सेस अगर बता पाओ तो वो बेटर रहेगा। एंड सेक्शन वाइज पे आपने वैट जीडी की पीआई के लिए कैसे प्रिपरेशन किया, वैट के लिए कैसे प्रिपेयर किया, जीडी के लिए कैसे प्रिपेयर किया, एंड पर्सनल इंटरव्यूज के बारे में हम लोग बाद में पूछेंगे, तो लेट अस फोकस ऑन दिस पार्ट।
Okay. So first of all, after the CAT ka results came, I didn't do anything for a week. I was in a complete break,
हम्म.
just wasn't doing anything. And then I started preparing for VAT and GD. Those were my first two important steps. So for VAT, it so happens that either you know how to write or you don't. I that is one simple thing. Some people know how to write, some people don't. If you are in the second category, then there's only one thing you can do. You can take a pen, you can take a paper and write. Do not take
Correct.
a laptop, do not write on a phone, just take a pen and paper and write. That's it. And write, and if you do not, I mean, for writing, there are two things. One, you should know how to write. You should have good English, good grammar, good punctuation. But second thing, you should also have knowledge about the topic, right? And
Correct.
most people get afraid about the second part, like, oh, how do I write about AI? I don't know anything about AI. Okay, so start with just writing about your family, about your home, about your background, about what you're doing, who you are, because writing
Hmm.
anything is a practice. So I
Correct.
was writing absolutely anything and everything, all the preparation I did for what and GD.
Hmm.
I wrote everything. I filled notebooks on notebooks because our generation, or most people after engineering or college, do not really do much of paper and pen work.
Correct.
They are
Yes.
just on laptops, and
Correct.
the ability to write also goes. You feel very weird with a pen and paper. I felt very weird with a pen and paper. So everything that I had to prepare for, I realized that I have to do current affairs
Hmm.
and I have to do what as well. So for writing practice, I would just write. I would just take 10 minutes in the timer and then write something about a random topic. There are some sites that will just generate random topics for you to write on, which are not as difficult. They'll ask
Correct.
you to write about pollution or corruption or your country, your GDP, stuff like that, which is something everyone can write about. It doesn't require a lot of extra knowledge to write about them. So that is a writing practice. Now coming to about writing about some topics, I started reading about two topics every day. One day I would maybe cover. I think there was a whole Manipur or case going on that
Hmm.
time, about
Correct.
government and everything. So that was a lot in the news. So I would watch videos about it. Video about it. After watching a video about it, I would write for 10 minutes on it.
Hmm.
So that would help me two ways. One, I got to know about a topic, about a current affair. And then second, I practiced my writing. It took what? Some maybe half hour. You got one
Correct.
topic covered.
Correct.
So like these, everything that is in current affair, you can take two topics or three topics every day, depending on what your schedule is. And then you can watch a YouTube video. I mean, we have everything available on our
On
phones,
YouTube.
our
Yes.
laptops, right? Everything is there on YouTube. So find about, there were so many deals being made that time. There was so much happening in geopolitics. There was so much happening. There was Russia-Ukraine war. There was the share market was plunging. So everything you see, watch a 10-minute video maybe and then write it about it for 10 minutes, whatever is your understanding. So that will help you prepare both ways. Now uh for GD it's tricky. It's really tricky because one, you need to have a group to discuss with. And
Yes.
uh,
Focused
that
and dedicated group.
yeah, focused and dedicated groups. So if you are in academies, or if you have joined some academies like Tarkashastra or any other, wherever you are, then they help you with those things, that there's a group, there are other candidates that you can have discussions with, there are topics that they can give you that you can prepare about. So that is a more like a logistical part of it.
Hmm.
So nothing about that, but how to prepare for it. As I said, the more you read, the more you write about something, the more your thoughts about it will settle. You will have more words, you will have more thoughts to speak about it when you are watching about it day in and day out, right?
So, sorry to interrupt you over here.
Mhm.
Uh, can I summarize it in three words? Ki
Sure.
content is the king.
Oh yeah.
Right? जितना
Content is,
ज्यादा आप कंटेंट कलेक्ट करोगे आपके माइंड में, उतना ज्यादा वो बाहर आएगा.
yes, yes.
राइट.
And then there is confidence. Um,
यस.
I have sat in, I mean, I think it's been 1 year now, because last year in February I was giving interviews and I was sitting for
करेक्ट.
interviews.
करेक्ट.
So those 2 months of giving interviews almost every week, be it mocks or be it real interviews,
हम्म.
they have changed my personality to an extent,
हम्म.
because I am a better speaker. I'm a more confident speaker and presenter now in my meetings, in my office meetings, or wherever, in my college presentations, everywhere. Because I have realized that the person sitting in front of you just wants they are not there they're not there to to fail you, or to make you feel negative things about yourself, that don't know this, don't know that. They are just there to test you, to get to know about you. And
करेक्ट.
if you can confidently present what you already have, that is more than enough for them to give you a green flag, a green
करेक्ट.
check.
करेक्ट.
That's all they want. So, content, consume as much content about, I mean, I said about current affairs, but about academics and about work experience. Academics is up to you. What subject you choose, how you
हम्म.
prepare, that is completely about how you had your college journey and stuff. But for work experience, I found a very great way. It was like any project that you are working on or that you have worked on previously. Every
हम्म.
company has documentation. Every company has I don't know, Jira tickets or wiki
हम्म.
pages or
हम्म.
some documentation available for project that happened. Go and read those documentations. Go
हम्म.
and read your own Jira tickets, what you
हम्म.
did, how you did, what was find out what was the blockers in those projects, find out what was the issue in those projects. Because the more you know about these things, you'll be able to speak about it in interview.
करेक्ट.
So that's a very great way of preparing for your own work experience. Every project that you have worked on or been a part of, or that you want to highlight in the interview, read about it beforehand. And that will help you both in your company and in your interview.
करेक्ट. तो ये तो आपने किस तरीके से प्रिपरेशन करना चाहिए इसके ऊपर इंसाइट्स दिए, राइट.
Mhm.
तो एज फार एज आई रिमेंबर, यू अपियर्ड फॉर at least a dozen of interviews of good colleges, right?
Yeah, yes.
And when you go through such a rigorous process during
Mhm.
short span of 30 to 60 days,
Mhm.
there are hardly few things which you can remember after a year. But
Yes.
sometimes there are few interviews, few experiences which are lifetime experiences, which are lifetime memories. Right?
Mhm.
So would like to share few of those कि आपके साथ कौन सा
Um,
सबसे पॉजिटिव एक्सपीरियंस था इंटरव्यू का, एंड कौन सा सबसे नेगेटिव एक्सपीरियंस था.
I would share negative first. I remember coming out of the IIM Kozhikode interview. I was attending in Mumbai, and it was in some hotel lobby, like
हम्म.
mostly they happen. And
हम्म.
I remember coming out crying of that interview, and I was very sure that this is not. I have done so bad here, probably because there was a panel. There was three, 2 to 3 people. There were 2 people who were sitting constantly, and one was coming and going. So
हम्म.
yeah, 2 to 3 people and panelists, and they. It felt like they just wanted to drill me to the last extent possible. And they were being very sweet about it. They were not rude or in any way, like uh, they very sweetly they are asking questions, very like smile on their face. They're asking, "Do you want water? Please take some water." But the questions they would ask you, they would grill you everywhere. So that's a negative experience. I do not see it as negative, but certainly something that felt negative at the time.
हम्म.
Positive experience was you get to meet so many candidates who are there for interviews, and you learn a lot from them. Uh,
हम्म.
I was, when you are waiting in the waiting area with other candidates who are yet to be called for interview,
हम्म.
talk to them because it might not help you in the same interview, but in other interview it might help you. Talk to them about what they are doing or how they have prepared. Share experiences with them. That is a very good learning experiences and networking experience for people who are working professionals and people who want to give more interviews.
ओके। ऐसा कभी हुआ आपके साथ कि फॉर एग्जांपल जस्ट यू मेंशन अबाउट योर IIM के इंटरव्यू, जो सबसे ज्यादा नेगेटिव एक्सपीरियंस है, या आई विल से थोड़ा सा नॉट एक्सपेक्टेड टाइप का एक्सपीरियंस था, बट यू कन्वर्टेड दैट इंटरव्यू, राइट?
Yeah, IIM Kozhikode.
So,
Yes.
so did you have any experience की which you felt very very confident about कि यार ये इंटरव्यू तो आई विल डेफिनेटली क्रैक, लेकिन वो आपका नहीं कन्वर्ट हुआ?
I am very self-critical, so I never feel that I have done good at interviews. But no, I mean, unfortunately, I do not have this thing where I felt like I have done good, but I did not convert.
हम्म,
There was, I think IIM Kozhikode was the only interview that I could say that I was very sure that this is my worst interview experience. Uh, Although I had answered almost every question, but I felt like I wasn't able to impress or satisfy the questions that the panels were asking. But I think that is how they do it.
correct.
Every institute has a different way of taking interviews and testing you. So I
हम्म,
think they had a very different technique. Yes, I remember SPJIMR interview. That was the most innovative, most out of the world interview experience I had.
हम्म,
I went. We were supposed to go there. It was a physical interview. It was not online. So we went. There was first was a written test. We were given a topic that, if I remember it correctly, it was if you were an inventor and if you are about to invent something right
हम्म,
now,
हम्म,
what would you invent and why?
हम्म,
And I was like, This is not a current affair topic. This is not a topic about my work experience or my academics. So, this is all about your imagination and how you can. So, you already have content, but this
हाँ,
question is not about the content. So,
correct.
how do you make this question about that content? Is 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 the ability that you should have. For example,
Correct.
if you know about the GDP of our country or how it's not good or not bad, you should be able to convert that question in the form of answering it in the GDP. Like if I was an inventor, I would invent something that would ultimately affect the GDP because GDP is your content. So you can write about GDP, right? Or any other
हम्म,
topic, I would say. So you should be able to know how to bring that question to your content relevance,
correct.
right?
Correct.
So that was the first round. Second round was a panel group interview. Now this was something I had no idea about. So there was a panel of five HODs of different departments sitting in front of you taking your interview, and there were five interviewees, including
हम्म,
yourself, including me.
हम्म,
So that is not a GD, that is an interview, but a group interview with a
correct.
group of people. So that was the first round. It was completely about tech. They would ask questions from different person, and they might ask you to follow up on that answer.
हम्म,
So you might as well be following up on a stranger's answer, which you don't even agree with. So that can also happen. So you should be prepared on taking both the sides, or however the
हम्म,
situation comes. So that was the first round. It was all around tech and finance. And then the second round, there was second round also in SPGN, which was again a panel round. Again,
हम्म,
three members from SPGN committee, and then four of the interviewees. And that was more on ethics and management. So first was
हम्म,
tech round, second was ethics and management. They would ask questions that feel very ethical, and then after you answer them, they'll just turn it on you. So when you are trying to be a good person, you are trying to portray yourself as a very ethical person, they'll switch the situation so suddenly, and you're like, oh my God, how do I get out of from here now? So
So
yeah,
these are the situation based interviews are the most tricky ones actually.
most tricky ones. Yes, yes.
बिकॉज जो आपके टेक बेस्ड एंड फाइनेंस बेस्ड क्वेश्चंस होते हैं दोज आर फैक्ट बेस्ड कि भाई ये ऐसा है, ये ऐसा है,
हाँ,
राइट?
yes,
दिस इज द
yes,
लॉजिक विच यू नीड टू फॉलो while building a particular
yes,
software or while building a particular logic. बट
yes.
सिचुएशन बेस्ड सिचुएशन आपके पर्सपेक्टिव से डिफरेंट हो सकता है, मेरे पर्सपेक्टिव से डिफरेंट हो सकता है.
Yes, yes, yes. So they would do, for example, they'd ask questions like, they'd put a situation where a person was a victim, and then
हम्म,
they'd ask you, what would you do? And then you do something in support of the victim, right? Because you have to put, even most people would do something in support of the victim, even outside of the interview. But in the very next, once you have answered that, oh, I'll support this person, I'll do this for this person, they will, okay, they'll say okay, and then they'll switch it in a way that this victim now becomes a like not, goes becomes an oppressor of some kind. So first they'll show a homeless person, and you are like, oh my God, he's a homeless person, right? And then they say this homeless person committed a murder. What do you do now? And then you are so suddenly like, oh, what happened? So in these kind of situations, I think uh, what I realized is important, that there is no right or wrong answer.
Correct.
As long as you are able to elaborate or explain or convince your answer, someone about your answer, that is all they need. Second thing, what they test is how gullible are you.
Hmm.
Like, if I am questioning you, are you changing your answer?
Hmm.
Are you
Correct.
quickly getting afraid? Oh, no, I did not mean that. Or are you too arrogant that you'll never change your answer? Like,
Hmm.
even if I keep convincing you, if you are not changing your answer, that is also not a good trait. So it's like a double-edged sword. Like, if you change your answer, that's also a problem. If you don't change your answer, that's also a problem. But what's the important thing to remember is there is no right or wrong in these situations. As long
Hmm.
as you can convince the person sitting in front of you, or you can explain your reasoning behind it, that's all they want. That can do you have the mind to explain about it or to think about it? So that's the only thing you can do. There is no right or wrong.
So, uh, we are almost done with
Mhm.
we are almost done with two parts of this discussion. Now, coming to the final and very, very interesting part. I'll say it is important, but it is very interesting from the third person perspective, who doesn't know about your journey, about your background, बट जिनको सिर्फ इतना पता है कि भाई ये बंदी ने IIM K को कन्वर्टेड कॉल को रिजेक्ट कर दिया. So let me just give a brief background. He
Mhm.
Shanya is an BTech is a BTech from IIIT Pune. Uh, at the time of appearing interview, that is in last year February, she had more than 2 years of experience, right? Correct.
I had 2 years, exact 2 years of experience. Yes.
Okay, so she had completed almost 24 months in the organization as a data analyst.
Yes.
Correct. And उसके सामने दो तीन situations थे. When she got the convert from IIM K, he had the convert from IIM K. As far as I remember, he was also due for the promotion in the current company, जहाँ पे उनका जो एग्जिस्टिंग सैलरी था उसके ऊपर हाइक मिलने वाला था. तो यहाँ पे आई रिमेम्बर दैट डिस्कशन कि यहाँ पे हमने दो तीन पैरामीटर्स कंसिडर किए थे कि IIM K में जाने के बाद उनका फीस कितना है, रिटर्न ऑन इन्वेस्टमेंट कितना मिलेगा 2 साल बाद, प्लस आपका जो एग्जिस्टिंग प्रोफाइल था वो कम्प्लीटली चेंज हो जाएगा 2 साल बाद, तो यू विल बी अ फ्रेशर. करेक्ट. देन जो आप 2 साल का ब्रेक लेने वाले थे, वहां पे आपका जो करंट सैलरी विच यू वर गेटिंग, दैट इज ऑल्सो हैंडसम सैलरी, तो वो आपका लॉस होने वाला था. तो द फीस विच यू आर गोइंग टू पे एट IIM K, द सैलरी लॉस विच वॉज गोइंग टू हैपन फॉर द 2 years, एंड 2 साल बाद जब आप जॉब करोगे तो वो अपॉर्चुनिटी लॉस भी होता है, राइट? कि एक तो एक्सपीरियंस आपका 2 साल का कम हो जाएगा, इवन दो यू वुड हैव
Mm.
गॉट द ब्रांड नेम, बट 2 साल का एक्सपीरियंस कम हो जाएगा तो वो अपॉर्चुनिटी लॉस भी होता है इन द फ्यूचर. तो ये
Yes.
सब पैरामीटर्स हमने कंसिडर किए थे. तो वुड यू लाइक टू थ्रो सम लाइट ऑन दैट?
Sure, sure. I mean, that's the most interesting decision I have had to take, and the most difficult one, to be very honest.
करेक्ट.
For a week, I was very anxious about it. I mean, it's no
यस.
easy decision, and so yes, I think it was in May when I was waitlisted. I was shortlisted for IIM K, and I knew I was going to convert it. And at the same time, there was also SPJN shortlisting, but I was not very sure about that. So I was only focusing on IIM Kozhikode. And then I converted it. But what happened just before that was that I was talking to a few of my seniors and colleagues from IIM Bangalore and IIM Kozhikode, both. I had some seniors there and some, and they are all placed now. They were all placed back then. They had finished their MBA. One is in Amazon, and someone else is in, I think, Accenture or somewhere. But either way, I happened to be talking to them, and they were telling me about their, that work-life balance is such a mess right now. And I was like, but it's a dream, right? You went to IIM Bangalore, you got into such a big company, big name. What else you want right now? Such handsome salary, great package, everything. And they were like, yeah, we are very happy with that, but it's still, we have to prove ourselves in this area now because I'm a
Correct.
fresher in this company, and that
Correct.
stuck with me somewhere. That I am already a established person in this company, right? And of course, you switch companies, you go to different companies, but I have done my groundwork for 2 years in the field of data analysis and
Hmm.
data analysis, right? And I am a potential, and I am very interested in the field of data science. So if you are someone who wants to switch industries, then MBA is a great call.
Hmm.
Please go for MBA. But
Hmm.
I wanted to stay in this industry. And
Hmm.
this is a very tech savvy industry, right? Data science is there. There's so much math. There's so much statistical modeling. There's a lot of
Correct.
engineering also involved. So that was the first time I actually thought that I won't be doing this in MBA. Maybe there's one subject about it or one course about it, but this is not what I would be doing in MBA. And after I finish my MBA, I would be in some company. I would be probably a associate manager or a team manager or a consultant,
Hmm.
right? Now, consultancy, for me, it doesn't work. I have
Correct.
worked in a product based company, and I prefer that way of working. I have
Hmm.
friends who are great consultants, but maybe I am not. That's just not my cup of tea.
Hmm.
So I realized that I have to be in my preference was very clear that I want to stay in tech. I knew that there are managers who handle tech teams but do not have much idea about the tech that they are working with,
Correct.
which which doesn't help them in their roles, which is why they are not as efficient as they could have been if they had that knowledge. So I knew
Hmm.
that that 5 years down the line, if I want to become a manager of a data science team or a data analysis team, I want to be someone who has done the groundwork for 2 years or 4 years, whatever it takes, to understand that what my team is doing and how they could do it better or how I can help them do it better. That was my first thought. And then I realized that I cannot do it from MBA college. I mean, MBA teaches you a lot. There's this a lot of learning there. You are in between all the peers who have great minds. So
Hmm.
there's a lot of learning there. But I realized that I would be leaving tech behind.
Hmm.
So after 2 years of MBA in finance or HR or marketing or even general normal MBA, I would be a fresher consultant or a fresher associate manager. And I would have to again do 2 years of groundwork to prove myself as that,
Hmm.
which is good if I want to be that. But
Correct.
if I want to keep in touch with my data science roots, then that is not a great path for me. Which is why it was during that time I also came across this MSDSM from IIM and IIT Indore course, which was partly tech and partly management. So IIT
Hmm.
Indore handles the tech part, and IIM Indore handles the management part. So I came across that, and I felt like this is tailor made for me. Like, isn't this what I want? I want to keep learning about data science,
Hmm.
and then I also want to learn about management, and 2 years later I will have understanding of both. So
Correct.
so that was my thought that went into it, that 2 years later I will have 4 years of work experience in the data industry and a degree that has data science and management added to it.
Correct.
And
So
on
you
top of that, of
basically,
course,
mhm. Yeah, I continue. Sorry.
on top of that, of course, there was a factor that the opportunity cost of leaving a job. The market last year was very different. People weren't getting jobs. People with experiences were getting laid off. So I realized that at this point, having an experience matters more than having a degree. And of course, IIM K is a very, very big tag name. Very big tag name. I don't think most things won't compete with that. But for me, it mattered to have experience. And I realized I'm not ready to leave a job for this. So then I came across, of course, this course that was for working professionals. So I took that.
So what you basically looked for is a program fit and your career goal, right?
Yes, yes.
And this is a, how did you came to know about this? I am in the
Uh,
MSDSM program.
I think they were sending mails to everyone who had registered for CAT.
Hmm.
So whoever had registered for IIM Indore, you tick those things, right, when you're writing an
Hmm.
application. So whenever, I think they were sending mails to everyone who had registered for CAT or IIM Indore.
Okay. So while you took this decision, so
Mm-hmm.
I remember having we having this discussion.
Yes.
I am also sure that you must have consulted with multiple people,
Mm-hmm.
correct? So was
Yes.
there any societal pressure or was there any pressure from your family to not go ahead with the decision, go ahead with the IMK PGDM?
With from my family, no. Uh, my family is very much like, you decide what you want to do. So there was
Hmm.
no pressure from my family. But yes, from my seniors or cousins who are already in the industry, who know what a huge tag or a huge brand IIM Kozhikode is and how difficult is it to secure that seat. Even from myself, I mean, IIM Kozhikode was dream college for me. I don't know how
Hmm.
many YouTube videos I have watched for IIM Kozhikode. So it was a dream college for me as well. But uh, I realized that it's okay to be emotional about something, but when you come to take decisions, you should be practical. And so pra- practically, I knew that MSDSM was a better choice for me, depending
Hmm.
on the fact that I wanted to keep doing my job. I
Hmm.
wanted to learn about data science, which MBA wasn't offering me. I wanted to secure my roots in data science and management, which I was getting only in MSDSM. I wasn't getting that in MBA. So that was there. I think most people would face that pressure from society, from your own friends, your family. Even you yourself will feel that, oh my God, am I stupid? Why am I leaving IIM Kozhikode for something that is not so popular yet? But I would say in the longer run, in the bigger picture, uh, these things feel so small. So
Correct.
you have to stay true to your goal. If your goal is to become a manager from IIM Kozhikode, stick to it. Do not listen to me. If your goal is to become an expert in a tech field or a tech manager, then you should focus on how you can achieve that.
Hmm.
So yeah.
So, what mindset should, because this is a very, very crucial decision, right? This is a turning point, correct?
Yes.
Which can go both ways,
Yes, both ways.
right? So, what mindset should one develop to take such crucial decisions?
Um, Mindset, I would say I heavily rely on my instinct. I heavily rely on my gut, like what is my gut feeling. But
Correct.
also, you should have clarity. First thing you should have is a clarity of what you want.
Hmm.
What is it that you want from your career 5 years down the line or 20 years down the line? Of course, you
Correct.
cannot be very specific, but you should have some idea of what I want to be doing. I knew that I wanted to be in touch with tech, which is why I could take this decision. But
Hmm.
so that is the first clarity you should have. What do you want to be doing? What is your goal? What do you want out of this whole thing? Right? Second thing, I think you helped me with this, that prepare a list of pros and cons,
Hmm.
right? For
Correct.
both the decisions. Take one decision, prepare a list of pros and cons. Take another one, prepare a list of pros and cons, right? And while preparing that list, you will be very clear. I mean, you
Correct.
won't even have to wait till the end of it. During making that list, you will understand what in your head.
Correct.
That is second. And third thing, once you take that, once you understand, once you realize that this is right for me, even if it is the non-conventional choice, stick to it.
Hmm.
Because I come from a background where not many, my family or people in my family aren't, we are from a very small town, so people don't know a lot about uh, uh, like what is IIM Kozhikode or what is MBA, how is that big. They know the basic things like, yeah, good college, bad college, that's it, right? So but if you are in a family or in a surrounding that is very, that focuses a lot on these things, and you are not going according to their choice or their favor, uh, just remember to stick to your decision. If you have thought about it, but that also means that you have to think about it. You cannot just be like, no, 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 I want to go to
Correct.
IIM, so I'm going to IIM. You cannot be that. If you have to take 2 days, 3 days, a week, whatever. in a very calm environment, sit and think exactly what you want, exactly how you can get there, and which of these decisions will help you get there. Once you have that roadmap, then you should just stick to it. Then any societal pressure or any, a friend or anyone else shouldn't influence your decision. That's what I do.
करेक्ट. तो आई अंडरस्टैंड कि मैंने बहुत ज्यादा टाइम ले लिया आपका, वो भी प्रेशियस वीकेंड का. एक तो टाइम मिलता नहीं होगा आपको.
Yes.
एंड टू गेट दिस टाइम ऑफ योर्स मैंने बहुत ज्यादा फॉलो अप भी लिया हुआ है. तो इसके लिए एक लास्ट क्वेश्चन मैं पूछूंगा कि
Mhm.
आर यू हैप्पी विद योर डिसीजन ऑफ स्टिकिंग टू IIM इंदौर का MSDSM प्रोग्राम? हाउ गुड इज इट?
100%. If I look back eight months back, that was it when I took the decision 8 months back.
हम्म.
And since from that day, since today till today, I have almost a lot of, I think almost every month I ask myself this question, that did I do the right thing? And even people who know that I did that have asked me that, what do you think? Did you do the right thing? And I can say with 100% conviction that I have zero doubts now. I mean, even when I was taking the decision, I had some doubt in my heart, like, oh my God, I'm leaving such a big brand name,
हम्म.
or such a big opportunity. I mean, I am Kozhikode, and that college life, doing everything there is such a dream thing to do. But I right now I'm a data scientist. I am I'm full time. I have a full time job as a data scientist, and I have college on weekdays and on weekends also.
हम्म.
And a lot of things that I learn in my college help me do my job better, which
Oh,
has
great.
which has yeah, and management subjects from management or subjects from tech, because I'm a data scientist. So the tech subjects definitely help me.
हम्म.
I come up with more innovative ideas. I have more unique solutions to things that happen in the projects that I'm working on, the products that I'm working on, which has also made my team and my manager become very supportive of my college. So they see how beneficial it has been for me and for the team in general. So they have also become very supportive of, okay, when you have exams, you can go,
Great.
or when you have extra classes, please do it, we'll adjust according to your time. They have been very
Great.
supportive. And the management side of it has helped me improve my decision making skills.
हाँ.
So the things that I learned in management courses have helped me understand how corporations work, how organizations work. So I can see that when I finish this degree at on June or May 2026,
हम्म.
I know I will have 4 years of experience in the data
हम्म.
industry, 2 years as data analyst and 2 years as data scientist. I will have a degree of data science from IIT Indore and IIM Indore, and I will know management. So after working as 4 years, I'll be ready to be a manager or a team leader if it comes,
Correct.
if that opportunity comes. And I will have a degree backing that,
Correct.
and
And
experience
with
through
4 years
that
of
and all,
experience. Great.
with 4 years of experience, which is very
Great.
important. Yes.
ग्रेट. सो एक एक लास्ट छोटी सी रिक्वेस्ट है
Sure, sure.
कि वो एक स्टेटमेंट फिर से बोलना है जो आप आपके कजिन्स को या फिर जूनियर्स को बोलते रहते हो, जो स्टार्ट ऑफ द सेशन में हमने बोला था.
Uh, the fresher, that I do not want to be a fresher in the. This was the statement that stuck with me, that after an MBA, I'll become a consultant or a team manager. And what I realized was, uh, I had 2 years of experience and then 2 years of degree, so total 4 years. And after 4 years, in of working as this thing, I did not want to be a fresher in a new field. I wanted to be
करेक्ट.
an expert in the field that of my choice, which was data science. And so that was my whole thing, that not a fresher in a new field, an expert in the existing field. So
Great. So, Shania, it was nice, really, really nice and interactive session. I
thank
hope
you.
many students, all the people who will be watching this video, will get lots and lots of inputs from this almost 60 minutes of interaction.
Oh, I hope they do. I really hope they do. But you said lots and lots of students will find this inspiring, or they'll get some help. But honestly, if even one person, if even like this one candidate or one student who can take something from this and it will help them in their journey, I think it will be worth my while. and that's all. That's I would want. Yes.
डेफिनेटली डेफिनेटली दे विल डेफिनेटली लर्न अ लॉट. मैं अगर स्टूडेंट रहता था तो मेरे लिए तो बहुत, मैं तो 10 बार ये वीडियो देखता था भाई, क्योंकि मैंने खुद ने अभी इतने पॉइंट्स निकाले हुए हैं कि यार हाँ ये तो मैं क्लास में जरूर बोलूंगा. मतलब तो यू कैन
But
सी कि
I
मैंने
am.
इतने सारे पॉइंट्स अभी निकाले हुए हैं कि यार हाँ हाँ, ये तो मैं जरूर बोलूंगा, एंड बार बार बोलूंगा कि हाँ देखो ये वो बंदी ने बताया हुआ है, एंड दिस इज कमिंग फ्रॉम समवन हु इज एक्सपीरियंसिंग दिस जर्नी, हु हैज गॉन
Yes.
थ्रू दिस जर्नी
Yes.
रिसेंट वाइज.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Ah,
No,
so
I think I have to. I mean, I wish I took out this time sooner. I remember you talked to me in December, I think, or
correct.
in January. But I was in college this time pe. 19 hours a day I was busy, so I couldn't I couldn't do that. And then January and February have been very busy. But you were someone who helped me selflessly when I had to take that decision. I remember I was very anxious. I was very I did not have many people who knew the in and out of the industry. So I
Mhm.
have family members and people, but they would just say that whatever you find best, you do it because you know
Mhm.
most about it. So you were from a very neutral perspective, like okay, just consider both the options and all the other factors that are there with it. So you helped me a lot, and I don't think I can ever thank you enough for that. But if
अरे
this
बाप रे,
in any way
इतने बड़े
helps,
वर्ड. ना ना
no,
ना,
no, no,
इतने बड़े
seriously,
वर्ड्स मत यूज कर.
no, seriously, I am telling you, you and there were only two people I was consulting at that point. You were one, and the other was a cousin who is a senior in the industry. So I know how important some of your inputs were for me. So I cannot thank you enough for that. But if this helps anyone else in whatever way, then I think I would have done my part in it.
Okay, thank you Shanya, thank you very much
Thanks.
for
Thanks
showering
a
a word
lot.
of praise as well.
Of course, of course. I mean, it's all true. No paid PR happening.
Yes, 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 that's what I can vouch for sure.
Yes, yes, yes. All right. You have a good day too. I hope we stay in touch. And if there's anything else I can do, please let me know.
Definitely.
All
Thank
right.
you very much.
Have a good
Bye
day,
bye.
Aditya. Bye.